Which conspiracy theory is so believable that it might be true? The Reddit search function is intentionally bad or not purposely bad, but they know how to fix it but refuse to encourage more new posts. PETA is controlled opposition run by the meat industry designed to make animal rights activists look bad. Robert Kardashian destroyed evidence that would have convicted OJ. He was handed a Louis Vuitton garment bag by OJ's assistant right as OJ returned from Chicago. None of the cops paid any attention to him as he walked away with the bag. When the bag theory was discovered a month later, Kardashian claimed to have lost it. That the government made this post to see if we were onto them. Holy shit. The reason Disney came out with a movie called Frozen was so that when you Google Disney Frozen, you would get information about the movie and not websites talking about Walt Disney's body being frozen. The development of the F-35 fighter jet is so over budget so the military can fund other top secret projects without making a new line item on the budget. It's the only conspiracy theory I believe. I always hear the advice that in order to stop being heckled by Scientologists, just ask where Shelley went or ask about the circumstances of her disappearance. It usually shuts them up. Mattress firms aren't only holding mattresses, buddy. After reading about this on Reddit, I got to thinking. Once I needed a new bed, I decided to check it out. I went in and was approached by two salesmen. They had this $1,499 mattress that I really liked. The sales guy saw the twinkle in my eye and knew that I must have this mattress. I told him I liked it but I needed something more budget friendly. I was a broke ass at the time. He then said, well, we can do this one here on the floor for $950. I told him to be honest, I only have $400 to spare. He says, hold on a minute while I make a call. Then comes out and says, okay, we can do $400. Just come back in an hour while we prep it. I left, came back, and they even helped me lift it up to my truck. Honestly, the best mattress I've ever owned. I get compliments all the time. Is this just a brag about your appearance? His wife is very popular in the neighborhood. Men get to test the mattress. I only banged his wife once. But I've been going back twice a week for months just to sleep on that mattress while she does the cleaning. The oil and coal industries invested heavily in killing off nuclear power as an attractive alternative. These days we have reactor designs many times safer than other methods of generating power, and the waste issue is something that could be fixed with sufficient investment. Not even a matter of these days. Even taking into account disasters like Chernobyl estimated around 4,000 premature deaths and Fukushima 600, nuclear is incredibly safe compared to coal's 5,000 accidents per year. Nuclear kills 90 people per petawatt hour generated, whereas coal kills 100.000 people per petawatt hour mainly because of lung problems worldwide. Even if we don't take into account the climate change contribution, most of those deaths are easily avoidable if we switch to nuclear. I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory at this point. But a lot of people still don't acknowledge that your internet searches and social media profiles are absolutely being used as training models by major IT companies. I was a drunk college student and had access to them to run AI training. If you still think you're off the grid, you're an idiot. Being frank, it's not a big deal if you don't have dark shit to hide. Those people are too busy building the new technological world to give a shit that you look at midget porn. But don't delude yourself to think people don't have access to anything you do on the internet. Vaccines are flat, and the earth causes autism. Edit, I forgot to say, 7/11 was an outside job. Edit 2. 7/11 was not a part-time job. Sheeple, that's what they want you to think. The Laurel Canyon Conspiracy. Basically, if you look at the counterculture revolutionaries in the music industry in the 60s, most of them were the children of military intelligence people. So the theory is that the free love, lots of drugs movement they inspired was done intentionally to distract the youth from a full-scale revolution. The thought was if the angry youth of the mid to late 60s were too high and getting laid all the time, they would stop caring as much about societal ills and then basically sleepwalk through the 70s. Which they did. I stumbled upon this when I was reading up on Jim Morrison and how his father was the one who called in the fake strike at the Gulf of Tonkin that kicked off the Vietnam War. And which was shown later to have been a false flag. Turns out, a lot of his contemporaries were also children of highly placed military people with ties to intelligence. Strange that they all wound up in Laurel Canyon as part of the same movement.